All right, guys. So we are back for part five, I think it is. Yeah, okay. So we're back for part five, and this is going to be chapter 10, which is depth and size perception. And I'm going to try to make this less than 3 minutes for you guys. And then I'm going to try to toss in some things about the infants. So let's talk about first some of the illusions that come with depth and size. Okay, so we have the Ponzo, aka railroad illusion. Okay, so pretty much when we have a set of railroad tracks, we had like this capybara, we had like this rando animal that was at the top and the bottom, yet they're the same exact size and length on a 2D flat surface. But the illusion is that the one that is farther or higher in the image, it appears bigger even though it is not, and the two images are the exact same size. We have the Ames room illusion, that is with people inside the distorted room, and we have the participant looking inside a little peephole, and it seems like a man or woman is really larger than the other one, but because of the size and the distorted scaling of the room, the two people are in reality of equal size. So remember the Ponzo railroad track illusion and then the Ames room. Those are important to remember. We have three groupings of depth cues. We have the oculomotor cues, which is accommodation, which is the adjustment of the lens of the eye. Then you have convergence. So if I were to take my finger, I can feel my eye muscles moving inwards. And then as I'm moving my finger outwards, that is when I'm looking straight ahead. I have my monocular cues. Monocular, monochromatic, like with colors, that is one color or using one eye. Our monocular cues, guys, we have two of them. We have our pictorial ones and we have the motion produced cues, okay? You have multiple pictorial cues and you have motion produced cues like motion parallax. You may want to write some of those down. The definitions, there's tons of them. You may want to look at those vocab words before the exam. I do recommend that. Yeah, and then you have your binocular cues, which that is your stereoscopic vision. Okay, so that is using two eyes. And you have, again, multiple cues with those. So, again, those are more vocab terms that I'm really not going to touch upon here, but those are in chapter 10 of your textbook. And things that I do want to mention really quick have to do with the infants. So, this may run about like 3 minutes and 45 seconds. But, anyways, the babies. Okay, with those, we had William James. He was one of the first people of psychology, so to say, at Harvard. And he thought babies couldn't see anything. They were a blooming, buzzing confusion, and that babies could not perceive anything. Well, wrong, Mr. James, sir. They could. So we use a couple of techniques with the babies that you may want to write down. It is the preferential looking technique, okay? To where they're looking at two stimuli, like a gray screen and like a novel stimuli with like gratings, and it's to test their visual acuity. The parent can't see what the kid's seeing, but the kid is going to be looking at what is new. Obviously, the baby will get bored if it's just a blank gray screen. Oh, I've seen that before. The baby will always look towards something that is newer, okay? Then we have habituation. Very similar with that. Again, the babies are going to be looking at something they have not seen before. So that is something that you always want to remember with the infants. And last but not least, this was in the very, very last lecture of 3-6 from our teacher. And babies can recognize smell at a very, very young age. So they had like 4 different types of smell, and the baby would react to it. It was like vanilla and coconut or something random, or it was like vanilla and sugar or something. So it was a good smell. The control, the baby was just staying asleep. And then they would have like rotten fish and like rotten eggs, so babies can recognize smell. That's important to remember. And that's pretty much it. Occlusion is a pictorial cue and a pictorial cue. That's also part of monocular vision. Remember, occlusion is when something is covering another object, but we could still tell that this hand is behind this one. Okay, so occlusion is part of the monocular, binocular cues. So like some cues will overlap into the other cues, and you have those three categories: one eye, two eyes, and then with the eye muscles with your ocular motor cues. Okay, so that is, guys, the quickest version I can possibly do of the items that I have on my flashcard. Again, fill it up, guys. Do well on your exam. Have a great winter break. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, JK, you don't have to. This is just for school. Anyways, bye, guys. Thank you.